People are saying this is history being made in South Africa. People who are not able to get into the stadium will be able to go just about anywhere. Even in restaurants, in pubs, television stations are tuned to the television channels to watch the memorial services today. What the government has also done to make people who do not have private transport, they've made public transport available to people to get to the various stadiums, and it's all for free in the various provinces in South Africa. So actually, everything has been made possible and easy for people to witness this historic day.
Aisha, just a final word on the security, if you will. There are over 90 heads of state, 6 current presidents, and many former presidents, world celebrities who are there, all in that one place today. What kind of security has been put into place to make sure that today goes as planned?
Well, this event is being run by the South African National Defence Force, the South African Police Services and the Metro Police. And according to the South African Defence Force, they are ready and they are prepared and they have the security issue under control. A number of roads have been closed down. No private cars will be allowed to enter the stadium, and that is why public transport has been made available for the more than 1,500 journalists that have been accredited so far, the thousands of people that are wanting to travel to the Soccer City Stadium in Soweto. They will have to, and most of them have already arrived and taken public transport.
All right, thanks so much for that, Aisha Ismail reporting there from Johannesburg. We just saw Gordon Brown walking into the stadium just moments ago. Another one of these dozens and dozens of personalities, heads of state, who are heading into the FNB stadium there today. We also saw a quick glimpse of some people singing on stage. If we get back to that, we'll go in. Here, let's have a listen. Let's take a listen. Coverage of the ceremony in honor of the life and work of Nelson Mandela. There you can see the Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff, who will be speaking during the memorial service today. We were just listening to some music, the pre-show, if you like, before the ceremony begins there in the FNB Stadium. And while we're on the topic of music, I'm going to turn again to Vivian Walt, South African journalist and a contributor for Time magazine. Nelson Mandela had not only an incredible effect on the music world, he had a great love of music, meeting celebrities from the Spice Girls to Whitney Houston. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, he came of age in the 1940s. This was a time when Soweto was really, it was kind of like the Harlem of Africa. There were all these musicians coming up like Miriam Makeba, Hugh Masekela, people who are now world famous names. And there was a huge jazz scene in Soweto, very influenced by what was going on in New York. And so that was really a kind of world that he came of age in. He was always a big music lover. He loved to dance. Even when he was 80 years old, he was dancing. And music was very, very much part of this anti-apartheid movement, of course, inside the country and outside. There was a whole repertoire of liberation songs, many of which you've heard over and over again during the past few days, and which I'm sure we will hear today. And even in the midst of these tremendous riots in the country, people were singing. They were singing and dancing, and that was a way to mobilize people, and of course also to mobilize people globally. You had people all over the world, the specials. I mean, there were so many people. Peter Gabriel,
Simple Minds,
who wrote famous free Mandela songs that then became kind of like anthems
for the huge anti-apartheid concerts in London and other places as well, massive events which generated that global feeling against the apartheid movement. incredibly influential at the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
He had a Mandela had a bit of a soft spot for celebrity as well, didn't he?
He did, and in fact I was just listening to the story about him yesterday, which I didn't realize, that when he came to the US for the first time,